Yes, so Mr Sunak initially promised that he would publish them if he became Prime Minister back during the heat of the Tory party leadership campaign against Liz Truss in the summer. Of course, he's now been Prime Minister for about 5 months and he's been repeatedly questioned about it. Now, finally today, the day when most of Westminster was thoroughly distracted by Boris Johnson's appearance before the Privileges Committee, he took his moment to publish this document. Now, it's not actually a full tax return as such. Nicola Sturgeon did publish her full HMRC document just last month. It's actually a summary of his income and the tax he's paid. I think the key takeaway really from it, as you might expect, really just underlines what a wealthy man the Prime Minister is. So in total, over that 3-year tax period, it shows that he earned nearly £5 million from a combination of his salary, his investments and capital gains as well. And over that period as well, he paid just over £1 million in tax. Now, one thing that has been highlighted is that last year, for example, he earned £1.6 million in gains, but paid £325,000 in tax. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no suggestion of that. But what it is highlighting is that actually the rate of tax on capital gains is around 20%, so substantially lower what people would be paying on their salary. Now, it doesn't give us any information about the scale of the assets he holds. Some experts have suggested that given the level of investment income on the interest, perhaps he's holding around £7 million in interest. And we don't have a lot of detail about what those investments or those gains are. We're told that the majority of that income comes from a blind trust, which critics have argued means that effectively we don't know the detail of where that income is coming from anyway. Now, it's also interesting that it's highlighted in the notes that come with this document that the Prime Minister has always been domiciled in the UK for tax purposes, despite the time he spent living in California, which of course is in contrast to his wife, who was born in India. And if you remember, the whole focus on Mr Sunak and his tax affairs really intensified last year when it was revealed that his wife, who is the daughter of an Indian billionaire and has a 0.93% stake in his company, Infosys, actually wasn't paying tax on her worldwide income in the UK, despite being married to the then Chancellor. She then changed tack and said she would be paying tax on it, but that was a voluntary arrangement. So if you're non-dom, it means you don't have to pay tax. You just pay a £30,000 fee a year. It's also emerged that both of them had green cards until relatively recently as well, although this document says it hasn't affected Mr Sunak's tax affairs. Why does this matter? Well, clearly it's a time of cost of living crisis. Labour often focus their attacks on the Prime Minister as being out of touch by really stressing how very wealthy that he is, and this certainly isn't going to change that position. Also, the very decision taken to release this information, long awaited, as you say, does appear deeply cynical. The Liberal Democrats say it was deliberately designed to release it while everyone was distracted by Boris Johnson's appearance before the committee. Caroline Lucas of the Green Party says it's a naked attempt to bury the story. Well, I'm sure it's going to be thoroughly pored over in more detail by journalists and tax experts in the days and weeks to come.